My name is Jacob Feinspan. I use he and him pronouns, and I'm proud to be the Executive Director of Jews United for Justice. First, we need to take a moment to thank the people who made this such a special evening. To our honorees, thank you for being willing to let us lift up the ways that you are role models for all of us, even and especially when the spotlight is uncomfortable for you. To our board members, leaders, activists, elected leaders, and partners, your work over the past year is what powered the victories that we celebrated here tonight. Thank you. To everyone that has made a gift to power JUFJ's work, thank you. Your support makes a huge impact. And I want to particularly name several of our most generous sponsors of tonight's event. Mike Rubin, Wendy Kahn, the Naomi and Nehemiah Cohen Foundation, SEIU 1199, Fran Goldman, Robert Barkin, Karen and Brendan Herron, Rebecca Endon and Ari Weisbard, and Lisa Greenman and Paul Leader. Thank you. And to my incredible colleagues, I am blessed to get to work every day with the most dedicated, creative, determined, and caring team of staff members. I am so grateful to work with you. A particular thanks to the team of staff and consultants that have worked for months to make tonight so special. Sam, Chase, Laura, Ashley, Alex, Jack, Josh, and especially Jill Hertzler and Carla Hashley, the two masterminds of tonight's event. Let's take a moment to celebrate all of you. Rabbi Elizabeth Richmond opened the evening with words from the Haggadah, reminding us that even in an imperfect world, our ancestors celebrated the individual steps along their journey towards liberation. That's what we've done tonight. We've lifted up and inspired and been inspired by four incredible honorees. And we've celebrated the enormous victories that we have won by coming together with our partners to demand change. But tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up and we'll still be living in this imperfect, broken world. So I want to take a few minutes to talk about hope and why it's not just something we get to feel once in a blue moon when we win something big or when we come together to celebrate, but that hope can and needs to be with us every day. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory, the former chief rabbi of the United Kingdom, taught, Judaism is a religion of details, but we miss the point if we do not sometimes step back and see the larger picture. To be a Jew is to be an agent of hope in a world serially threatened by despair. Every ritual, every mitzvah, every syllable of the Jewish story, every element of Jewish law is a protest against escapism, resignation, or the blind acceptance of fate. Judaism is a sustained struggle, the greatest ever known, against the world that is, in the name of the world that could be, should be, but is not yet. There is no more challenging vocation. Let me say that again. Judaism is a sustained struggle against the world that is, in the name of the world that could be, should be, but is not yet. Friends, this is the work that we get to do together. We struggle to build the world that could be, that should be. We believe that a different world is possible because we've seen it happen. From the story of our ancestors' liberation from slavery, in many of our family stories of fleeing persecution and then thriving in new lands, and in our collective work to make real, immediate, and concrete improvements in people's lives in this region. When we take action together to make our world better, we are agents of hope, of conviction that this world can actually come to be. Let us be clear about the audacity of what we're trying to do here together. We are attempting to build a society of love, of justice, and of equity that generations have worked for and that we have not yet reached. And yet, we know in our hearts and in our bones that such a world is not only necessary but possible. That is why we are not going to sit back and wait for that world to come into being. We will continue to act, to demand that our governments act boldly to solve the most pressing challenges of this moment, the pandemic, the economic crisis, and the entrenched racial inequities that poison our society. We have a game-changing agenda that we will enact in Maryland in just a few weeks, when the legislature returns for its 3-month sprint. We will act to transform police accountability, prevent evictions, protect immigrant rights, and create a paid family and medical leave program for the entire state. In DC, Montgomery County, and Baltimore, we will act to protect affordable housing and renters' rights, transform public safety by reducing funding for police and investing in the community, and demanding that our local budgets prioritize a just recovery from the pandemic that doesn't just get us back to where we were before, but takes us further along the path to justice and equity. In Jewish thought, hope is an action word. Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." But we know nothing bends towards justice without us bending it. That is what hope is. The audacity to believe that we can bend the arc and the will to act. And that is what we've done together and what we will do together. The hundreds here tonight, the thousands like us across the region, and the incredible partners we are humbled to work with every day. So when you wake up tomorrow morning and you see a world around you that is still incomplete, still broken, what will you do to be an agent of hope? Because we're all counting on you. We're all counting on each other. Thank you, and good night.